Welcome to Spoofers, the podcast where we talk about random things.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another show of Spoofs Lounge. It's been a hot minute, as kids these days say, since our last episode. As most of you guys know, I'm pretty much a one-man band, and life just caught up for a while, so we are back, and we're coming out of this gate swinging.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does. Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face. What about buttered sausage?
That's not your jam. It's not your thing. You don't like it?
It's not my jam. I don't buy jam. I buy honey, and I kiss it on the lips.
So we have had no shortage of variety on this guest that have appeared, and let's go ahead and add another notch to that belt. The gentleman I'm lucky to have on the show today has probably spent more hours in the sky than I have in my entire working career. While we've already had Mark, Mr. Worldwide, on the show, well, this gentleman is going to get you there with a smile. His wife and he run the Ellis County located American Black Belly Farms, and he's also a man of many other talents that we can find out later today. And today I'm lucky to present everyone on the internet land to Mr. Gary Smith. Gary, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike, for having me.
Absolutely, man. I want to say that you were actually one of the first people that I wanted to get on the show. Like when I started, I don't know if you listened to Mr. Worldwide, but I had about, I'd say 10 people that I was like, these are the people I want on my show. And you were obviously on that list.
Thank you.
And I was just like, obviously our schedules haven't aligned or whatnot. You've been incredibly busy flying across the world.
Flying, working on cars. Helping people.
Yes. And so I was like, finally, I've been doing this for about 3 months now. And here you are.
As a matter of fact, today was a vacation day from the airline. And I'm happy to be here, honestly.
Who wouldn't be, So, been busy flying across the world, and you fly internationally, and obviously you got your own personal aircraft that you've flown as well.
I owned a couple of them, and I used them to commute to military duty, and I've since sold them.
Okay, and I want to say from our previous conversations that you actually started your flying career with the military, correct?
Yes. I was at, Reese Air Force Base, class 8808, which means we started in 87. We were the last fiscal year class of 1988. We graduated late September, October of 88, and it was a very long year. But yeah, that's what started me in Air Force pilot training. And before then, I was inspired by my oldest brother.
Okay, so you just kind of got your inspiration of going, hey, I'm going to join the Air Force and I'm going to be a pilot. That's my goal. Or is it something that where you're in the Air Force, you go, you know what, flying sounds pretty cool.
No, and if there are young kids listening, I started work as a dishwasher.
Okay.
And then I realized this job isn't the greatest.
There's better jobs out there than dishwashing, Not a bad first job. Not a bad first job.
Great first job. So kids, if you're out there listening, work the jobs, figure out what they are, and then figure out that's not what I'm going to do the rest of my life. From there, various odd jobs, and eventually I worked at a Taco Bell. Again, not a job that I wanted to do the rest of my life, but I realized as a junior in high school, I was searching for something that I wanted to do. And my oldest brother, David Smith, at his pilot training graduation at Williams Field, he gave me a 15-minute simulator ride in an Air Force T-37 simulator, and I was hooked. Hook, line, and sinker. Sign me up. I'm ready to go.
Oh, I can only imagine being a simulator. What was it? So you said in 87?
Yeah. Well, so my brother, hang on real quick.
I was surprised they even had like real simulators back in the late 80s,
I gotta do math in public. It was 87 when I graduated. There was 5 years. I was class of '82 at Buena High School. 3 years behind that ish. So we're at 1979. He's graduating from pilot training.
Okay.
I'm a young high school sophomore or freshman, and I get this simulator ride, and they're paying him to fly airplanes. And
Heck
that was
yeah.
one of my questions. I was like, they pay you to do this? I mean, this is when Atari was coming out in video games.
Yeah.
And it was a huge full motion, full simulator video game. And they're paying him to fly an airplane. That was it. Sign me up. Where do I sign on the dotted line? I will join now to fly airplanes.
That is okay. So that's what did it. You did it, and it's hook, line, sinker, and here comes Handle Smitty coming in hot.
Yeah, actually, Smitty came kind of from my brother, but
Okay.
it was a great nickname that mirrored my last name, Smith. So I went with it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So get all that heart set on the military, flying planes, and so you just had to start going. So when you're in the military going through pilot training, obviously you have to be selected to be a pilot. You can't just be like, hey, I want to be a pilot, sign me up. There has to be some kind of prerequisite or something, right?
And let me interrupt you a little bit there because I'm going to do a shout out.
Okay.
For my 5 years of college, I went through Air Force ROTC. For my 5 years of college, none of my ROTC credits counted towards my degree, and I had an electrical engineering degree in college. It was a difficult degree, and I toughed it out. But so you do compete for a flight, what they call slot, in a military service, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. So you compete for a slot. I competed for a slot and lost a slot because of a medical issue that I claimed when I applied for the service academies. I said I had allergies because when I was 15 to 16, I was mowing people's lawns. And I was allergic to the grass in high concentrations. Mom and Dad, Mary Smith and Bailey Smith, God bless you, Mom. Here's a shout out. And Dad up in heaven, here's a shout out to you. Thanks for backing me so much because they helped me get through that medical process. A second medical issue came up where I had Legg-Perthes disease when I was very, very young. It was caught and cured. But the regulations for the Air Force said if you had this disease, you cannot get into the service, let alone be an officer or a pilot. I had to get a waiver for that. Thank you again, Mom and Dad, and the medical doctors that wrote and did an analysis on my physical abilities, because I wrestled in high school. And I eventually got the way I competed again and lost it for Legg-Perthes. I competed a third time and got awarded a pilot scholarship, and that one stuck. So after 3 semesters, I had a pilot scholarship, which relieved my father of paying my tuition. The only thing my father did for me at that point was pay my room and board, and I was getting $100 a month stipend from Uncle Sam to make good grades and go to college.
Well, okay.
Thank you, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And then I completed my college degree and waited my turn in line. My older brother, and I'm going to do a shout out to him again, he's the one who gave me the simulator ride, David Smith. He flew the A-10 Warthog, and God bless him because he set my path. He gave me counseling on whether I wanted to be an officer or an enlisted person, whether I wanted to work on airplanes, enlisted person, or fly airplanes, officer. A little bit more pay as an officer.
Right.
And he guided me and gave me education that I never would have got anywhere else to set me on my goals when I was a young man. So Dave, my brother Dave right now is battling Parkinson's disease. Dave, if you listen to this, God bless you. I've been praying for you every day for less symptoms of Parkinson's, and he already knows. I've told him before how much he's done for me, but I'm going to say it again publicly. Thank you, Brother Dave. You're awesome.
Parkinson's, it sucks to say the the least. It's something that you don't even work. You don't wish it on your worst enemy, and I know that. My wife's oh gosh, it was her grandfather. He had Parkinson's, you know, and the dude, he battled it like a champ. I'll give him that. He was a tough old man. I'll give him that. But yeah, you know, but man, it's great that you did have someone that, hey, this is the guy that I followed, you know. Like,
yeah,
hey,
my mom and dad helped me get through medical stuff. My brother gave me a vector and how to go, whether it was academy or ROTC. And I actually put in my papers to go to the academy. And we had a young and technical sergeant that said, he told me, I go, I'm surprised I didn't get nominated to the academy. He goes, yeah, I saw your paperwork and you're not the academy type. He goes, you're going to stay right here in ROTC. And I was shocked. I was like, you didn't turn my paperwork in? He goes, no, but you got a pilot slot. He goes, what's the problem? And I go, yeah, okay, you're right.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So he was wiser in me, in age and how the Air Force works. And even though I thought I wanted to go to the academy, he said, no, I didn't turn your paperwork in. He goes, you probably would have got it. He goes, but you're much better right here. I said, okay.
Yeah, hey. They're like, you know what? We got the slot right on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get that and you're going through all your training. So while you're in, you know, you get your pilot slot. So like, what would be like the next step after that? Obviously, you know, there's tons of training involved, tons of book work. So what would be like, okay, my name is Gary Smith. I'm accepted to the pilot training program. What like I am totally like blank to all of this, you know. Like I tried to become a pilot, you know, and I did a lot of the paperwork. I got the book and I was going through all that. And I didn't take the next step, you know, after that. And like I'm just kind of wondering, like, okay, you're in the military. What is the next thing that you do? You just start just studying like you've never studied in your life, or?
Well, first in college you study to make grades and get your degree. They will not keep you on scholarship if you don't make your grades.
Okay. But you have to have like a certain GPA, correct?
Yeah, 3.0 or better.
Okay. Okay.
And I fell below that once or twice, and they smacked me around, and I focused more time on, instead of women, I focused more time on the books. So, but your junior to senior year, they send you to flight screening program. And today I think the rules have changed, but back in the early 80s, I went to Hondo, Texas, and I had 13.3 hours in the T-41 Mescalero. And what the T-41 Mescalero is a Cessna 172, for those who don't know the correlation.
Okay.
But I had a civilian instructor. His name was Glenn Little. I've heard he's passed away. Thank you, Glenn, for all your instruction. They kept us at the Medina Annex of Lackland Air Force Base. We got bused every day out to Hondo, Texas. And we were in flights just like we would be if we were in the Air Force. And we went through a typical day, which was classroom work, stand-up emergency procedures, flying. You fly a 1.3 sortie with an instructor, and they teach you how to take off, land, go up, stall the airplane, recover from stalls, steep turns, come back and actually fly the pattern by yourself, because you get one solo ride. At hour number 12, I soloed the mighty T-41 Mescalero, the Cessna 172, and my next ride after that was a preparatory ride, and I had a check ride. It was a visual check ride and I had to meet standards to pass. And about a third of the people in that program, within that short period of time, you had to learn a lot about the airplane. You had to understand mechanically how to fly it, and then if something went wrong, what to do, and then fly it solo, and then take a check ride. And that's a very similar experience to what you would experience when you actually get into pilot training. So that's your first step, flight screening. For those that earn their commercial pilot's license, you get about 40 hours before you go to a check ride. The military says if you have your private pilot's license, you don't have to go through flight screening today, as far as I know. So there's the preparatory work. Then you get into pilot training. And then when you start on day one, it's about, in pilot training, it's 6 weeks of academics.
So it's just straight book work,
Yep.
6 weeks.
You're in class for 8 hours a day, you know, and it's not straight hours. It's 8 hours, break, lunch, back into class. You're given tests. You're tested on your knowledge based on your classes. You pass all your tests, then you go to the flight line. When the flight line hits, then you're into a 12-hour. You're 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, if not 6, depending upon how bad the nation needs pilot graduates. Because there were days, not while I was in training, but later on while I was an instructor, that we worked on Saturdays.
Okay.
So, but learning all of it was, for me, it was 12 hours a day at the squadron, and then we had to leave at the 12-hour point. And then I would go home and I'd study for about 3 hours a day. My wife, God bless her, got me through pilot training. She'd fix me a meal. I would study. I'd clean up at night, and I'd soak in the bathtub. And if I fell asleep, normally I'd fall asleep in the bathtub while I was studying something, and the book would hit my face. And then I'd wake up, finish cleaning up, get into pajamas, go to bed. There were 3 a.m. wake-ups to be at the squadron at 3:30 to 3:45 in the morning.
Oh, that's tough.
And I might have woken up and did the same thing. I woke up, and if I didn't clean up the night prior, then in the morning I'd wake up, get a cup of coffee, get in the tub, study for another half an hour till the book hit my face, or I was out of coffee, and then clean up and get to the squadron and start a 12-hour day from like 3:45 in the morning till 3:45 in the afternoon. We'd be out, and then go back home, do it again, 6 days a week. And then for me, I always gave 1 day a week where I could just be me and not study and not worry about anything. I figure if I can't get through this program in 6 days a week of full 100%, I'm gonna do this, then maybe it wasn't for me. And thank God it was, because I almost washed out once. I don't want to go into that story.
Sure.
But I didn't wash out, and I turned out to be an instructor pilot, and my career took off from there.
Okay.
It's a long answer to your question.
No. But, kind of going back just a hair, so you're talking about whenever you were flying and you had an instructor as the co-pilot when you first started, correct?
Yeah, the instructors kind of sit there, they show you how to do it, and then they give the airplane, they say, do it, and they're quiet.
And also, when you're talking about stalls, the instructor will stall the airplane, or he will do something.
Yeah, it's called a demo do. So he would take the airplane, stall it, and then say, now you try it.
Pretty much, or he'll go and say he will turn the ignition off. And you'll be like...
Yeah, well, we
And
were
while
a
you're flying.
2-engine airplane, and say, you lost a motor. What are you going to do?
Okay, so he wouldn't just go kill it right there for
No,
you.
he wouldn't. They wouldn't
Okay.
actually shut it down. But he'd reduce it to idle. He'd reduce the thrust to idle and say, what are you going to do?
Okay.
And so you'd go through the engine restart procedure, and you'd verbally tell it to him. You'd have to have it memorized.
Okay.
And then after you get through the memorization process, then you get into your checklist, and you'd reference your checklist for engine failure during flight, and you'd make sure you got all the memorization steps and then any of the sub-steps.
Okay, so he's not... So say if you're on like a Cessna 150, single
Right.
engine...
Oh, yeah, they grab your motor. You only have one motor in that.
Yes.
In the T-41 Mescalero. And they were careful about where they pulled their motor. So you'd be coming up right about a beam, the numbers of the runway where you had to do a 180-degree turn and land it. And he'd reach up and grab your motor and say, you lost your motor. So at that point, you would do your bullface procedure. While you're still flying the airplane, you lower the nose to get a glide going, turn for the runway, and then see if you could mix your props, throttle, and restart it. And they always said, no, your motor didn't restart. And then you'd land it. Because
Okay.
you were in a position to land. So they wouldn't pull the motor unless you were in a position to land.
Okay. So you're saying you're not going to go 40 miles out, and they're
But
going
I
to be
wouldn't
like...
really turn it off, because then what if it really didn't restart?
Yeah.
And I'd dork something up, and then he couldn't fix it.
That would be a hair-raising, to say the least.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But all those guys, they were senior aviators. They knew what was going on. And the Cessna 172 and T-41 is such an easy airplane to fly. It flies a lot like the airplane I'm flying today, which is a Boeing 777.
Okay. I know just a quick story. So my Uncle Norman was a pilot.
Okay.
And not a commercial pilot. He just had his, personal,
Sure.
pilot license. And he just got married to my Aunt Faye. And he was a pilot for several years. He would go to the Lancaster airport, rent a plane for a day or whatever, do his little and it was.
Right.
I was several rides with him. It was a blast, and he just so think about it. You just married this. He just got married. He's taking his new wife out on a ride.
Watch me.
And
I can fly.
the engine stalls.
Okay.
Needless to say, Norman got grounded. He was no longer allowed to fly.
But they both walked away from it.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is a testament to his training.
Yes.
And you can always replace the bent metal. You can't really replace the bent human.
No. But he, it fired back up. But you got to think, put yourself in.
Fired back up.
Yeah, they got it fired back up. Think about like poor Faye in her shoes. She's like, oh, I got this great husband. He's taking me for a flight, and all of a sudden, this dude can't even keep an engine running. Here I am. 10,000 feet in the air, and my heart just sank.
Yeah.
That was
And
Norman.
then he no longer had spousal approval.
He no longer had his wings, as I think they call it.
Understandable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you did meet your wife in the service, right?
She was in ROTC with me, and I was her. I tutored trigonometry and algebra in college. And she
oh God, I hated college algebra, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. There were two hot chicks in college algebra.
Okay.
And one gal always showed up with. It was like just after her gym class, so she had like leggings on and the body tight suit and blonde hair and gorgeous. She was cheerleader quality.
Okay.
And then there was my wife, who was a beautiful woman and always raised her hand for my help, and I'd go help her. And I was like, man, there's two gals in this class that are good looking, and she's one of them.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's where we initially met, and then we started dating. We both, by happenstance, the good Lord put us at the bank at the same time. I came in first, another person, and then she was behind me. And I let the person in front of me go in front of me, and then we started chatting in line. Well, after we both got our banking stuff done, I had a car and she didn't. And I said, hey, you want to ride back to campus? And that's
it.
Kind of what started it.
Tutor Smitty,
Yes.
handling business.
I was teaching you how to multiply.
Tutor Smitty, he's handling business, and now the rest is history. As I guess they say now, right?
I wanted more than one child, but Angela gave me one child, Bailey Lynn, and I'm super happy that I had one. I wanted more, but it wasn't for her. So that's where she kind of put her foot down and said, no more kids. Because she was doing everything, because I was literally, while the child raising was going on, I was working 8 to 12 hours a day, either flying and teaching students or flying the C-130, and she had all of the child care responsibilities. God bless her, because I was busy at work.
Yes, you're trying. It's almost like the old school way of, hey, the husband worked and provided for the house, and the wife handled
Absolutely.
it. And I have met Angie, and she's a tough woman.
Yeah.
Lovely. I mean, I love Angie. She is so nice, but she is a tough woman.
She busts her rear end in whatever she does, and God bless my wife. I love you, baby. You've delivered one of the best children that we both agree our Bailey Lynn was a model child, going through junior high, high school, college, and we both worked to educate her, and now I have a grandson who's an awesome grandson who loves racing. So
yeah, Ollie, he's a oh man, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll let you keep going. I
know.
could talk all day, but I don't want to.
Oh no, but that's what we're here for,
I know.
But I know Ollie. Oh, I think he's a little soft for my wife Robin, because I know every time he's around, he's like, "You can hold my hand, you could do this." She's like, "Okay."
But good for all.
Yeah, I think last time we were all at the racetrack together. You know, we were pitted, and Robin, you know, she was racing her car, and Ollie was there, and he goes, and she gets out of the car, and he's like, "You can hold my hand." She's like, "Oh, well, thank you." And he's just sitting on the trailer, holding her hand. I'm going, well, at least somebody's doing it, I guess, right?
He knows a good-looking woman when he sees her.
Yes, he does. Yes. That he does. He has an eye for it, that's for sure. All right, man. So we were going, you know, still kind of like in the military, you know, doing the life story of Smitty so far. And, you know, so you're a pilot, you're going through all that. So after you completed all your training,
right,
you're Air Force and you're a pilot now, correct?
Yep. My first job was at Reese Air Force Base, Texas, near Texas Tech. Get your guns up. And I was an instructor pilot, so I taught primary. I taught kids to fly the T-37, a small twin-engine jet airplane, for about 3.5 years. And we went up, we did everything I previously said about pattern work and stalls and spins. And now we're getting into it's aerobatics and spins, cross-country navigation, formation. So, and the formation is a hoot. Flying 3 feet next to someone, wingtip spacing.
Yeah.
That's where you're going about 250 miles an hour, and you're 3 foot off of someone's wing, and that's an adrenaline rush.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Oh, it's a blast.
Oh, I would. God, I would love that. I'll never be able to experience that, but man, that would be that'd get your heart pumping right there, you know.
Yeah, and that's eventually why I got into tuner racing with your wife.
You know, nothing like saying, "Hey, I'm going to fly 3 feet from someone doing 250 to come doing 65 in a 4-cylinder Cavalier." You know.
Well, you know, we're all getting older, so we gotta lower our standards a little bit.
So whenever you were in the military, obviously you were doing your pilot, you know, or you were, you know, a trainer, but when you were flying, so like was it primarily just like transportation? Hey, we're doing this and that, or were you like overseas? We're in Afghanistan and we're handling business, so to say.
Yeah, That's a
a
broad stroke. So
yeah, okay, if you want to
flying the trainer aircraft, you're doing all the stuff I just described.
Sure.
After the Air Force tends to break up or the military, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, they break your service up into about 3-year blocks. So after I was done being an instructor pilot in the T-37, I get to fly 3 years as a C-130 pilot, and they train me to be a Special Ops 130 pilot. And the school there is initially Little Rock, and then Kirtland Air Force Base. And then Angela and I were together in Okinawa, Japan, where I flew the MC-130 Papa, and the squadron is still active today, the 17th Special Ops Squadron. And it was, so what do you do with the C-130? Well, if any of you know about a C-130, it's a 4-engine turboprop airplane. You can drop, for the Army, you drop beans, bullets, and paratroopers out the back. Our specific aircraft, we would slow down to about 130 knots. We'd put down 70% flaps. We'd hang a hydraulic hose, and we would give jet fuel to helicopters.
Oh, so in flight.
Yep, I was the tanker.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I would hold a steady platform, and the helicopter would come up from the hose hanging out of the tank under the wing, and they would physically fly their helicopter into a paradrogue basket. And then they'd pull up into the refueling position, and as long as our airplane pumps were pumping fuel, the helicopter would get gas. And then the way there was a certain amount of impact pressure to couple it.
Yeah, because I imagine it's like a quick disconnect fitting or something, right?
About 150 pounds to hit it and connect it, and about 75 pounds to release it.
Okay, so whenever they get done, they just pretty much just
they
pull back
off, and it senses more than 75 pounds, and it releases. And so that was a qualification we had to have. So we would, and then our last qualification we would do, well, there were 4 qualifications. We would fly night vision goggles at 500 feet AGL at night, and we'd physically hand fly the airplane around the mountains. And
that'd be fun.
Line ourselves up with a runway and do what we call an air land or an assault landing to an infrared landing zone. We call them a Boxin 1. This is all old technology, but I bet you they're still using it today. It's a box 50 feet wide and 1,000 feet with a flashing strobe at the end of the runway or the side of the runway. And you land in the zone. The C-130 will stop within 3,000 feet. And then you either, people would get off the airplane or vehicles would get off the airplane. But that was a specific qualification to have as a pilot so you could, at night, put the airplane into austere fields, dirt strips, all around the globe.
Okay. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah. I remember the funnest mission in the C-130 was in Australia. We briefed a plan on what would happen over the next 5 days. And our exfil night, exfil means get everyone out. We showed up in the middle of the Australian outback. Some areas are flat. It's mostly flat. And night vision goggles. We were slowing down and putting our gear down to land.
Yeah.
Which means we're about 5 miles from the runway. We don't see anything. It's black. There's no moon. We just got starlight. And at the exact time that they pre-briefed us 5 days prior, at this time, the lights will come on. To the second, our Special Tactics Squadron had all 4 lights on, and we're starting down glide slope, land in the middle of the Australian outback, load up everybody, turn around, take off opposite direction, and it all took about 4 to 5 minutes. Nobody was shooting at us, but it's all training for warfare.
Sure.
And to have all 4 lights turn on at the exact time from a briefing 5 days prior.
That's wild.
Incredibly impressive for not only our STS, our Special Tactics guys on the ground. We were working with Australian SAS, Special Forces, and just an outstanding operation. But man, you gave your heart and soul to the Special Ops when you went there.
Sure.
Anyway.
That is.
And then after that, I did more training. My next assignment was at Randolph Air Force Base. I put 12 years inactive. I separated late 99. I got back into the reserves and stayed with one reserve unit in Del Rio, Texas, the 96th FTS Flying Training Squadron, till 2014. And while I was there at that unit, I volunteered after my daughter was in college to go to Afghanistan. And I flew a business jet in Afghanistan called the Bacon, which is Battlefield Airborne Communications Node. And 720 flight hours and 80 combat missions later, I came back home.
Dang.
In 6 months.
In
a
6
lot of
months?
flying.
That's a lot of flying in 6 months.
720 hours is probably 2 years of flying at an airline.
Wow.
I did it in 6 months with the military. But what a fantastic airplane it was. It was kind of like flying a heavy aircraft. Because we went up, our initial level off was 42,000 feet. We were a communications node, so we helped the Army, we helped NATO forces, we helped Air Force, Navy. We helped them all bridge communications. Hence the term communications node. We had 13 different frequency bands that we could help everybody with, based on, and all of this was based on the debrief of Marcus Luttrell from Lone Survivor.
Yes.
Okay. After they debriefed him, they found and if you watch the movie, there was a lack of satellite communications, which we could bridge.
Yes.
But Lieutenant Matt Murphy, if you read the book or watch the movie, he exposed himself to let SOCSI know, Special Ops Command know, that they're being overrun by Taliban. Their position was compromised. They're being overrun. It was about 150 to 4. And the only individual that survived from that was our lone survivor. And I just said his name a minute ago.
You did. It was not Mark Wahlberg, but it was the real guy.
Yeah, hang on. I'll think of it in a minute.
Oh, yes.
But so I do suffer from CRS. As a side note, that means can't remember stuff. Anyway, the Bush administration at the time got all of our communication packages needs into one test bed, and they fielded it from concept to testing, and then on to, let's see, concept to testing I think took about a year, and then from the final testing to development, they gave it to either Bombardier or Gulfstream. They wanted a high altitude business jet to relay all the communications. Gulfstream said 3 years. Bombardier said 18 months. Bombardier got the contract. We had brand new airplanes. I was flying in Afghanistan at the peak of my career in 2010, bridging communications for ground support troops. Awesome job.
So you're flying a plane, and pretty much the plane has nothing but communication hardware.
13 black boxes, 2 pilots.
Wow, you're just making circles.
We were droning between Bagram and Kandahar, and then every now and then they'd put us on special missions. So the special mission that everyone knows about is Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
That was 6 months after I got back.
Okay.
The one special mission that we did other special missions, but the one special mission I was on was a British journalist by the name of Linda Norgrove, and that mission didn't go as planned. We'll just leave it at that. Try to keep positive. I love the SEALs. That mission did not go as planned. So
you can't win them all.
I know. God bless for any of the service members that are listening to this. God bless y'all because we do give a lot, and I support every one of you guys, and I was happy to do it.
Right on. That's right. So
there's roughly trainers, C-130s, the Bacon, and they're retired.
Okay, from the Air Force.
Yep, from the Air Force.
From the Air Force. And then now you fly
12 active, 14 and a half reserve.
That's a lot of years in the military.
Yeah.
That'll program you, you know?
You learn so much by not only just going to college, going to high school and auto shop. I learned a lot there, but going to college, I learned a lot. I told you I was an electrical engineer. I wired my own house. I can wire a car. I learned so much. And then in the military, how the military works and moves, you learn so much. And if any of our listeners are thinking about going in the military, shoot for the stars, do it.
It opens your eyes. You get to see something besides just the little town that you live in your whole life.
Bet.
Like obviously, you know how you say you go to high school and you get, it opens your eyes. You see people that you don't see on your little block, you know. You go to college, and I see people all around the country. Like, I know whenever I went to college, you know, I went to UNT in Denton, which isn't too far from here, you know, about an hour and a half away. But everybody around the country went to UNT. And so you get so mean green. Hey, you know what? We're 6-0 right now in football. So
I had to throw that out.
That
there.
is
John Ryan. There's a shout out to you. Caw.
So the you know, so you get to see, you know, any college you go to. Obviously, you go to a bigger name college, you're going to see a lot more people. But you experience something you're not going to experience in small town or even a big town. You know.
Yep.
And then military is just next level. I tried to join the military, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to join it. But
and they lost out on a great candidate.
You know what they did? You know, I'm not going to argue that. I remember in high school, I was, you know, still, you know, talking to Robin, my wife, and she was my wife then, you know. But I was like, hey, the Marine guy showed up. I think I'm going to join the Marine. She's like, no. I was like, yeah, I already kind of told him I was going to do it. And I remember I was on the phone with her when I was telling her this, and I was, you know, at my dad's house that I was living at. And I'm in front of, I know exactly where I was at. I was in front, we had our motorhome and trailer parked in a certain spot. I'm in front of it because I think I just backed up and parked it. And she called for, you know, that's what you did whenever you're in high school. You just talk on the phone all the time. That's my area, you know. Your area is a little different. But, you know, do that. And I was like, yeah, the Marine guy called. He gave me this beanie. He gave me a T-shirt. I'm going to join the Marines. She's like, no, you're not. I was like, oh, no, I already told him it's good. I'm going to join it. And, of course, you know, I find out like 2 days later I wasn't going to be able to get it. But I got me a cool beanie out of it, you know. So that was, you know, hey, That was me sticking it to the government.
The military's really strict on stuff like my childhood disease. Even though it was cured, the regs said I couldn't join, and I had to get that waived by a general in the Air Force. But I ran a 6-minute mile. I wrestled in high school, and I remember going to a doctor and laying on a mat, and he evaluated my hips and where the leg bone meets the hip bone, and he said, "Okay, yeah, he's good to go. He can run a 6-minute mile."
That's
standards.
Yeah, that's booking it. That is definitely booking it. But kind of fast forward to post-military, now you fly internationally,
Yes,
and you go to some really cool places. You
Yes.
see the world.
I do.
Like you see, like I give you a text, "Hey man, what's going on?" Like, "Oh, about to fly to Tokyo." Like, all right, that's like no big deal. Like, oh, that's like me driving to Dallas. Hey, I want to go to Dallas and get something to eat. Like, yeah, no big deal. I'm just going to fly to Tokyo today. And, I'll be back in 3 days. No big
The
deal.
nice thing is I'm not stuck in a coach seat. In the military, it was a long flight in a coach seat.
I can only imagine.
As a pilot, it's different. So if I go to my favorite destination's Maui.
Okay.
Okay. So
Well, who would want to go to Hawaii?
Exactly.
I mean, that's beautiful.
I mean,
Beautiful.
And the hotel's nice. It's 100 yards from the beach. We're in Kihei. It's small town USA. I'm a small town. I'm not a big city guy. It's beautiful. It's a 3-day trip. It pays about 16 hours of pay, which is awesome. But your flying routine. I'm a first officer, and there's typically one captain, 2 first officers, and there's a captain, an FO, and then the third pilot. They can't call it the FA because that's a flight attendant, so they call him the FB. So we've affectionately named that guy the food boy.
Okay.
Or first break, because he takes the first break. And yes, on that 8-hour flight to Hawaii, everybody gets about a 2-hour break. It's about half an hour up and half an hour down, which we're all in the cockpit at that time. But then the cruise time, 7 hours, we split up 2 hours and 20 minutes-ish.
Yeah.
Depending upon the wind. And we get to go back to a full lay-down bunk with blankets and pillows.
Oh, that's nice.
Put in earplugs, take a little nap.
That's real
Or
nice.
a fully reclinable first-class seat.
Oh, man.
Fully recline it, put in your earplugs. You can watch a movie if you want, or you can take a nap. And you're getting paid to take a nap.
That's an experience I don't get flying. See, so
But when you get back up in the cockpit, you're rested. You're not complaining because you're not cramped into a coach seat. You fully lay down, you close your eyes, put in earplugs. You can sleep if you want. Some guys don't, some guys do. I can sleep on an airplane, no problem. But when you get back up in the cockpit, like the longest stretch I've sat in the cockpit is about 6 hours. That's a long stretch. You get coffee or tea, and you get a meal and all that stuff, but you get tired after a while. You get micro sleeps, and if you tell the other guy, "Hey, I need 20 minutes because my body's trying to rest," and 100% of the time, the other guy goes, "Take 20." I'll recline the pilot seat, close my eyes. I won't put in earplugs because I need to hear everything. And I'll take a 20-minute cat nap in the seat, wake back up, and man, I'm refreshed. I can go for 4 hours after that.
Sure.
But we all know the rules, and we all do it, and it's to be at the end of my career. I'm 61 now. I got to retire at 65. It is the best. This is the best job, bar none, that I've had. Because, I fly to Hawaii, I fly to Tokyo, I fly to Europe, any of the destinations in Europe. I've been to Korea. I've been to China once. I've been to Shanghai once. I really don't want to go back.
Okay.
Anyway, I love my job. So
Heck, you see everything. You're going to see stuff that, heck, 90% of the people here aren't going to be able to see.
yeah, and your typical day is 8 to 15 hours of flying, 24 hours on the ground at your destination. Not a lot of time. You typically hit the hotel tired. You get 4 hours of sleep. You're good to go. Wake up, go out and have a meal with the crew. Go back because you got to be rested for another day flight out.
Sure.
And it takes a while to wind down, but 12 hours later, typically you're waking up, shower, uniform on, back to the airport, load them up, fly 'em back.
Wow. That's pretty wild if you really think about it. Like people. I mean, if you think of someone else like, oh my gosh, you got 12 hours. Like, you got to think that's eating, sleeping,
Yep.
and getting ready to safely transport
Yep.
people back across the water.
And buy all the good things, like buy all the good things that everybody likes and wants while you're there.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
Which I'm sure I've, let's see, you got some Rome spices.
oh my gosh. Yeah. So I was going to tell you. So we got the Rome spices. We used that yesterday, and So Robin went and bought. My wife Robin went and bought this Wagyu skirt steak from HEB.
Nice cheap skirt steak.
Nice cheap skirt steak. I mean,
Yeah, Wagyu beef.
Yeah, I mean, it was like she bought a pound of it, and it was like, I think it was even on sale. But even still, you figure a $25 skirt steak.
Yeah.
That's a high dollar skirt steak.
That's a high dollar skirt steak.
But she gets it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to use this? She's like, let's make tacos. I'm like, this is a really high dollar meat, but okay, honey.
Okay, make tacos.
Sweetie, we will make you some tacos. All right, so I got it, and I was like, I wonder if I'm going to use I got the Roman seasoning that you
Right.
brought me.
Yeah.
Got it, let it sit for about 30 minutes, and I put it on the Blackstone, and we decided that was talk about between the Wagyu beef and the Roman seasoning that I don't read Italian, so I
Right.
don't know what it even says on it. I just see the
It's
pictures
garlic,
of it.
peppers, and oregano.
Okay, there's pictures of garlic. Yeah, oregano and then peppers. Yeah, and I was like, okay.
And salt.
And,
There's
and
a little bit
I
of
think
salt.
there's
in there.
Okay, yes,
Anyway.
a little bit of salt. But we get it, and I was like, this is like the best tacos I've ever made or we bought or anything. I'm like, okay, this is really good.
I had someone text me today. They said, hey, can you give me 2 more tins of that? Because I want to give them as Christmas gifts.
Oh, I would. Well, I promise you, if you give them to me, they will not be Christmas gifts. I am keeping
right.
all of them. That will not be no white elephant
Next time
gift.
I go back to Rome, that's what I got to bring.
Y-
And I've got
yes.
to, believe it or not, I've gone to Tokyo to get chocolates, and you've had some of those chocolates from Tokyo.
Yes.
Those chocolates, the texture of them, it's like melt in your mouth, creamy chocolate. Then I go to Europe and I get Milka chocolate with just plain Milka chocolate or Milka with like an Oreo.
Oh my gosh, but that's so good.
So when I go places, like I typically know what's good and what we can't get here in the States, and then I bring it back.
Yes, just like whenever you go to Europe and you bring back all those little candies. Or not the candies, but those the
Digestives.
cookies.
Yeah.
Digestives,
You
yes.
can get those in the States. You got to look for them.
Oh, okay. I've never seen them before.
But on the shelf, on the shelf at the supermarket in London or wherever, they're cheaper there.
oh,
so
I'm
you-
sure.
I am not afraid of going to a destination and spending $60 and loading up a bag like a gym bag full of cookies, chocolates, things I can't get readily off the shelf at HEB or Berkshire Brothers
Yes.
here in Waxahachie, and bringing it all back and then saying, hey, try this, try this, try this.
Oh,
and if you've been to Railport Brewing, you've probably seen some of my chocolates on the bar.
I know. Yes, 100%. Yes, I know. The other day, talking about the Japanese, the Milka chocolates,
Yeah.
and they're super fancy. They come in a super fancy box. They're all pre-cut.
Oh, that's
And-
the Japanese ones.
Yes, the Japanese ones.
Yeah.
Not the digestive, but they're talking about the Japanese ones, and you get it. And we were doing something. I forget what it was, but it was no special occasion. No, and Robin just goes and has like 4 pieces, and I'm like, that's you can't get that here.
She likes
She's like,
it.
it tastes so good. I'm like, yes, yes, honey, it does taste really good. Let's save the rest of it for like if we do something good that day, not just because it's a Tuesday.
That makes my heart feel good that she liked it that much.
Oh, she loves
Giving
it.
a gift where someone likes it that much, that's awesome.
Oh, but
Worth every dollar.
oh, absolutely. Like I know, we used to go to Puerto Rico all the time, and they also have a lot of stuff that you can't get here in the States. And so whenever we bring it back and you see people actually enjoy a gift that you bring to them, you're like, hey, this is right on. We need to do this again, So we used to do that every time. And I was actually going to ask you, have you ever flown to Iceland?
No, but it's one of our Keflavik, Iceland. If you fly to Europe, is always a divert, and On 9/11, a lot of airplanes diverted there, and there's a movie and a book about that. But I have not been there. That's kind of that's one of the places I want to go.
So last week, my wife was like, "Hey, what do you want to do for your birthday?" And I was going, "You know what? That sounds like a great. You know what? Let's have a little party. I'll cook a brisket for everyone. We'll come by. We'll have a good time. I enjoy people coming to the house."
Yep.
And she's like, "That sounds boring." I was like, "Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. My birthday plans don't meet your expectations." And
Financially, they do.
then fine. Oh, I was like, "This is great." She's like, "Let's go to Iceland." I'm like, in February, she's like, "I want to see the Northern Lights, and that's going to be our big trip." And I'm going, right on. So I'm going to Iceland in February now. So I figured that's going to be pretty exciting.
Bring a really warm coat.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because the term ice in front of the land means it's cold.
But also, so I heard, of course, it's all stuff that I've read in books.
You're on the coast.
Yes.
And the warmth of the water will help, but trust me, it's not Dallas, Waxahachie, Texas. It's cold.
And I was reading like the Blue Lagoon, which is it's underground springs, and it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
You get down there, okay?
Yeah, you get down, but
when you got to get out sooner or later.
That's
it's gonna
absolutely.
be cold.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Get
Can you imagine being like in? Because I want to say that I was looking up in the high temperatures. There was like in the low 30s for the high, and can you imagine being like in 100-degree water, and then you're literally going to jump out and run as fast as you can to indoors because when that cold air hits you, it's gonna sting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, am I going to do it? Absolutely, but it's still going to hurt, and I can only imagine.
Well, congratulations on your trip to Iceland.
I appreciate it.
Good job, Robin.
Yes, you did a solid.
By the way, it's going to be cold.
It's going to be very cold. A lot different than our trip to Mexico that we normally do.
Really cold.
Really nipply, as they say. All right, man. So, being a pilot for so long, you saw changes firsthand on the 9/11 swing, right?
Yes.
And I know, you're a little older than I am, but I don't know when 9/11 hit, I was a freshman in high school. And I remember my grandmother, she lived next door to my dad. And she would take me to school at the time because I was 15. And she would take me to school. And I remember going there, and she had the TV on Good Morning America. And it showed where that plane hit the World Trade Center, the first one. And I was almost like kind of like in a surreal type deal where I was just like, man, is this pilot error? Is it, or what's going on? Because nobody knew. Right when the first one hit, nobody knew what was really going on. They just know that, hey, there was a plane that just hit the World Trade Center.
Right.
And I remember looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, my grandma, she's glued to it. And I remember right before we left for her to take me to school, that's when the second plane hit. And it was surreal, because you're like, oh my God, what is going on here, because it isn't like a typical, hey, this country's attacking us type stuff, it isn't like you saw the Russians coming across the water to attack the United States or whatever, it was planes crashing into a building,
right?
It's
like
you want to say, but it was an act of cowardice, like. If you want, I'm going to reach out to say that because, why would anybody, if you're going to be a man and do something like that, why would you act behind something? That's just my take,
Well, in the same light that the Japanese kamikaze pilots gave their life for their cause.
Yes.
The terrorists that attacked our country on 9/11, they were on the same mindset that they'll do anything to attack and kill the Americans. So I think their mindset was the same. They found the multiple holes in the Swiss cheeses to get. They did a lot of research on what they needed to do to get into the cockpit and get control of the airplane. And at the time, we didn't have. Most of the major airlines didn't have a no, you're not getting into the cockpit attitude. We do now.
Yes.
Because there's Kevlar doors. And the flight attendants today understand that if there's someone crazy in the back, they deal with them. a pilot doesn't come out of the cockpit anymore. We'll get you on the ground as quickly as possible. But if someone breaches the cockpit, that's a whole different story now.
Sure.
So, and that changed after it. Before 9/11, wasn't that way. We've had, you'll see before 9/11 there were terrorists that got in the cockpit. After 9/11, the rules changed and nobody's getting into the cockpit now. They allowed pilots to arm themselves in the cockpit. There's a crash axe in every cockpit. It's required by safety regulations in case they have chopped their way out or whatever. But that's, you never think how bad it's going to get until it actually happens. And that was a day where it actually happened. And so September 11th, I was inbound I had revenue passengers on the Fokker at American Airlines. I was inbound from Toronto at 8:30 in the morning. And basically, there was a 30-second pause in air traffic control communications. And I was setting up to try to land on a certain runway, and I was starting to get steep, which means too high, too much energy, you can't make the runway, you have to go around. Well, the 30-second pause ended with a instruction for me to proceed to the LaGuardia VOR and turn outbound on the 270 radial. So I did that. And it was my leg I was flying. Another Captain Smith was with me that day. And as we turned outbound on the 270 radial, I can see one of the World Trade Center towers on fire. There's a left... Well, I learned later that it was an airplane. It was an American Airlines airplane that went into the building. It had just gone into the building because I was at 4,000 feet and the smoke was below me from the initial impact.
So you're flying over it just right after the initial first impact. Okay.
We end up doing the expressway visual, which is it's just a visual approach where captain says, hey, you're getting steep. So you pull the power back, get the gear down, get the flaps down. You do a left turn, you land in LaGuardia, which we did very quickly. We were on the gate. Didn't take us long to get to the gate at all. Probably on the ground at 8:30, at the gate at 8:45, and times may not be accurate because it's been a long time. Somewhere around there. We're doing the standard greeting as people get off the airplane. We don't realize that our nation is being attacked by the Taliban.
Right.
And Taliban may not be. Our nation was being attacked by terrorists. We'll put it that way.
Okay. Safe to say, yeah.
Yeah. So, and Osama bin Laden, based on years of our government's research, was the mastermind of this entire terror plot to attack the United States. And then the second, that day was a crazy day where second World Trade Center was hit. There was an airplane, a United aircraft that went down in a Pennsylvania field, and another airplane went into the Pentagon.
Yes. Okay,
so anyway, we get off the airplane. We're in ops. After the second airplane hit, they evacuated the entire LaGuardia airport.
Oh.
And I stayed for 4 days in LaGuardia at our short layover hotel.
Oh, wow.
And hindsight being 2020, I would have found a respirator and a mask and gone into the New York City to take care of the first responders, but I didn't know there was a need to take care of those people.
Sure.
Because that rescue effort took months.
Yes.
In New York City. Anyway, my hat goes out to anybody that works police or anybody that works the job of firefighting. My hat, it is a service program for the masses, and God bless y'all. Keep doing what you're doing, because that day was a tough day for everybody.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not just a tough day, but it was just a tough time. I mean, like, you got to think the whole visual of the United States of being like this invulnerable country.
Yep. And we're not anymore.
No, that is not the case at all.
Yep.
And that changed, and now, I mean, you go to the airport now. I mean, anyone who's been in an airport in the past 24 years now,
right?
It's different procedure, and I think now I want to say whenever I think I flew Southwest, and that was like the first time I didn't have to take my shoes off. when I was boarding and getting ready. I was like, this is
Yeah.
a little
again,
different, you know.
Yeah, the shoe bomber went on it, was trying to get on and use regular matches on an American Airlines airplane. Thank the Lord that the flight attendants on that flight figured out what he was doing and got his shoes away from him. He was using strike matches.
So the
shoe bomber.
Oh, so that's why we take our shoes off now.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they just took our shoes off because they wanted to see what was. Okay, I did not know there was
no explosives in your high top shoes.
Well, thank God I wear flip flops when I go flying.
You know, he could have used a Bic lighter, and that whole airplane might have gone down.
No kidding.
He was using strike matches.
How would you know? Well, now you are not going to get on the airplane now with strike matches in your pocket.
Nope.
I mean,
No.
apparently there's something in my hip because every time I go to the airport and I go to the metal, or not the metal, but the spinning screen thing, they're like, "Do you have anything in your left pocket, sir?" I'm like, "Sure don't." Well, why don't you come over here to the back room and
as long as this goes off every time I go through, and I don't know what's in the hip, but it goes off every time I go through.
There's something in my hip. I don't know what it is, but there's something in my hip, and they're like, "Okay, sir, well, and there is a room that you go to, and you get patted down, and it's not a fun experience.
I think you've got some kryptonite in there.
There might be, there definitely might be, but I know it's not a fun experience.
Some super titanium Superman alloy.
You know what? I'm going to tell him that next time. I'm going to like, "Do you have anything in your pocket?" I'm like, "Kryptonite." Oh man, yes. Oh yeah, that'd be a good one.
That'll be a good one.
Oh yeah.
No, don't do that.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna 100%.
Sir, this goes off all the time. I don't know any medical reason why this goes off, but you're welcome to strip search me because this happens every time.
Oh, I want to say we were flying back. I think we were flying back from Nashville or something like that. And you got a thing in your pocket? I was like, "Nope." And they're like, "Okay." And they did this, and they're like, well, do you consent to a, I forget what kind of search it is. I was like, "Well, are you at least going to call me later and smile?" And they're like,
"Will you kiss me first?"
Yeah, and they were like, I was like, "Will you at least smile and call me later?" And this incredibly large black man just stared at me, and he's like, "No." He's like, "But you can come to this back room." I was like, "Well, all right, here we go." And of course, it only happens when you're in a rush,
right.
You know. They're like, "Oh, come to this back room." I mean, the back room is actually kind of nice. It's really nice AC and whatnot, but what they do to you is not nice, you know. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, that was a. But and of course, it seems like every time I fly, I probably do look like a terrorist because I haven't. It's first thing in the morning, not shaved, so I'm scruffy looking and coming through there, and they're like, "Look at this brown fella coming through here. Let's get him." Not to racially profile anybody, but I definitely. Robin goes straight through, no problem every time. I get, "Oh, sir, come over here to the side. We need to talk to you for a second." Which, hey, I get it.
And the best way to do that is just be absolutely honest with them and say, "I don't know why, but my hip goes off every time. So let's get into the back room now so you can." That's the way I do it.
I should probably do that.
Yeah.
I like the kryptonite story. I might do that next time.
I'm going to get you in trouble with that. I was just trying to use some humor. And while I try to use some humor, I'm going to jump shift and ask you a question, Mike. What's your favorite comedy movie?
Oh, man, comedy movie. Okay, I love Office Space.
Okay.
Office Space is a great one. And I actually realized that Office Space was made in Las Colinas. I did not know that, but love Office Space. Oh, gosh, another comedy. I'm going to say The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Love that one.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Man, there's so many. I mean,
I'm going to date myself here.
I mean, you got Animal House, you got Blues Brothers, you got. Oh my gosh!
I love Animal House. I like Blues Brothers. My favorites are Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh well, yeah, like your mother, or was it your mother was a hamster?
Right.
And
your father smelt of elderberries.
Yeah, your father smelt the elderberry. Yes.
When my daughter was 5 years old, she could answer the question, what is the terminal velocity of a coconut-laden swallow?
Oh, my gosh.
And you would say African or European.
African or European.
and then the hermit at the bridge said, "I do know that." And then the hermit went into the chasm.
Yes. Yes.
So I taught my daughter that.
Oh, my gosh.
I know this sounds cliche, but really other than the whole slew of Monty Python, because it's such abstract humor, British humor.
Yes.
But my favorite comedy is Airplane,
Oh well, as it should.
as it should be.
As absolutely as it should be, you know. Yeah. What's your vector, Victor? You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roger. Roger.
Roger. Huh? My name's Roger Murdoch. I'm the co-pilot. I'm not a basketball player. I'm not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes. Yes. Oh gosh, you could not have that movie now. Like, excuse me, sir, I speak jive. You couldn't do that anymore.
Oh,
You could not.
Man.
You could not do that anymore.
Yep.
Oh, but my Python was great. You know, do not come back. I shall taunt you again.
I shall talk to you again. I fart in your general direction.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I fart in your general direction. How you know I'm not French with my incredible accent?
Yeah. I turned my ringer off, but if you send me a message, it's Patsy who gets struck with an arrow. Message for you, sir. And then my ringtone is Patsy banging coconuts together.
Oh, yeah.
For the horses.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
You're not on horses.
you just got the coconuts
Banging
banging
coconuts
around.
together.
That is funny. God, I forgot how great that movie was. Yes, Monty Python. That is a great one. I'm gonna probably say that my third one is gonna have to probably be Animal House.
Yeah, I love Animal House.
I mean,
Yeah.
fun, fat, drunk, and stupid. Yeah. There's no way to go through life, son.
And for all of you out there who enjoy that, yes.
Yes.
Amen.
Absolutely. Okay, man. So you've been to so many different places across the world.
Yep.
You know, we kind of established that. And I'm probably reaching here a little bit, but what is the most wild thing you have seen in the sky?
I've seen a Mylar balloon as a passenger at 36,000 feet, just whizzing by the window. I've never hit one as the pilot, but I've seen one whizzing right by the window. That was kind of wild. I have seen going across the Atlantic Ocean, up in by the stars. Stars moving, or light moving, stopping, turning around, going the other way, in a repeated fashion. I have no idea what it was.
Definitely not a UFO, right?
I can't tell you. It was something that I could not identify.
Sure.
And it was, light was moving one direction, stopped, and then moved in another direction, stopped, and then moved in a third direction, stopped, and then went out of sight. So I've seen lights in the sky, and I was going to Europe, so it was I was traveling to the east, and it was in full view of my window. And it happened multiple times, not just once. It happened multiple times. And I was telling the captain, I go, dude, look right now. He looked also. He's like, what is that? I go, I don't know. Anyway,
that is wild.
That's kind of wild.
That is wild. You know, I want to ask because, so on Netflix, I've been watching this show to help me kind of go to sleep at night. Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, I think that's scripted, but okay.
I kind of want to say it is scripted, but I will say they bring some good points.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're falling asleep,
there's more out there than we know.
I'm going to definitely. I'm definitely going to say there's more out there. Like last night, I was watching it, and they were talking about all the pyramids across the world.
Yep.
And how there's a conspiracy on pyramids, which I will agree with some of that.
Yeah, how they were made.
And how they were made, and how many pyramids there really are out there, and there's pyramids under the. I want to say it was really there's a pyramid outside of Japan, and it's underwater. I forget the name of it, man.
It's okay.
It's worth looking. It's worth looking it up though, because it has these massive steps. It looks like it's made for giants, and really, really cool stuff. You know, and I was like, but man, it helps me go to sleep. But at the same time, I'm watching. I'm like, man, what is going on here? This is crazy, man. And I'm like, definitely scripted. You know, I mean, if you see the guy with the hair, you're like, okay, this guy definitely believes in aliens. But
my wife likes to watch it, so I sit and I watch it too. And
then she understands. She's like, hey, this, you know. But
she kind of watches more of the ghost shows, and she likes me to be home when she watches the ghost shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she gets too spooked out, I think.
I can see that. Like Robin, I'm not really sure I believe in ghosts. Robin does 100%, but she wants to literally right there next to watch this, watch this show go down or something like that, or So, that was definitely the ancient. Yeah, I'm watching that. And it's been something else. A lot of fun though. I mean, it makes you. It's something. that makes you think outside of the box for a second.
Yep.
And because I know I was going to start like a kind of like a mini series here, like whenever I don't have a guest, I was going to have like it's a conspiracy man, like it's going to like talk about certain conspiracies. I mean, who doesn't love a good conspiracy? I mean, I don't think the government's batting 1,000 by any means. They got to hide something.
Yeah.
But it is rightfully they should. I mean, if they had proof that there is actually aliens out there, that would cause worldwide hysteria. And
Potentially.
I mean, you got to think it'll shake everything to the core, and I couldn't go. We couldn't do that.
Never thought that deep into.
Oh, you haven't, man. You need to.
What would the other nations do if suddenly we had, your typical alien somewhere, anywhere in the United States? We'll just say White Sands Missile Range, near Roswell, New Mexico. Who knows? But that would be. And that's the whole script for. What was the movie?
Are you talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it, though, like, think if like Trump goes on CNN tomorrow, and he's like, "Hey, we got an alien here. His name's Jeff." And
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and I thought of the Marine lone survivor, Marcus Luttrell. Sorry.
Yes.
That was a jump shift. Marcus Luttrell, we salute you, brother. Back to the normal subject.
Okay, yes, of aliens. Yes.
Yeah.
Trump talking on CNN about
and
aliens.
CRS. My CRS unstuck.
That is funny. Okay, so we won't go down to alien road, but I'm gonna start like a little mini series of like conspiracies, and I thought it was gonna be kind of like over the ancient aliens, all kinds of. It's just gonna be just like entertainment type stuff,
Okay.
So I mean, if you want to jump in on some conspiracies, man, we could do it. I don't have enough time for the JFK conspiracy in one episode. That might have to be a long
I haven't
one.
studied enough, so I don't know.
Have you never watched the movie, the Oliver Stone movie JFK?
Nope. Sorry.
That on all your flights,
That's
to me,
one
that
of
might
my
be
that's one of my fallacies. I'm ultimately honest.
Uh-huh.
Haven't seen it, but I know that there's a lot of conspiracy theories on what happened to JFK, and if the government lied to the people, that's wrong.
You know what? I'm going to agree with that as well. I want to say that I don't think the government lied to the people. They didn't have all the information when they brought forth information.
Potentially, yeah.
And then now that there's more stuff coming out, they're like, yeah, we're not going into this no more. I could see that, but it's it's an older movie. I got to think that movie came out in the early 90s. So
Yep.
It's worth
haven't
watching.
seen it, so I don't know.
It's worth watching.
No.
I mean, I made Robin watch it like twice now, and it's definitely worth watching. But I was mean, but we're gonna have like the moon landing, about that one being fake.
Yeah, that's real.
Do you think it was real?
Yeah.
So I need to have you on the show then when we do the moon landing one.
Haven't you watched Apollo 13?
You know what? I'm not. You know what? I don't think we have enough time to go down this rabbit hole right now.
Yeah, let's
okay.
do that later. Go to the next question.
I mean, we don't have enough time to. I mean,
And
I
neither
think,
of us were there.
No,
so
we
how
weren't.
do we really know? Other than there's Apollo rockets. Other than they splashed down in the ocean.
Yes.
And no one really questioned them. And Chevrolet gave all those astronauts free Corvettes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of those Corvettes, some guy found it in a used car lot. Anyway, we can get into cars now because because Mike races and I race.
Yes, you have a fire-breathing Chevy Cavalier
with a new motor.
But dude, yes, and I don't know if you looked, but right before we did this show, I went and looked on the My Race Pass, and I was looking at, hey, how did Smitty do for the year? You finished 6th in the points at Kennedale, right?
Rather than 6th in the points, my best lap at Kennedale was a sub 19.5 by, tenths.
And this is your second year.
I put a brand new motor in it.
Yeah.
That rather than put out, the IMCA has rules where you can pick up someone's car for $1,500.
Yes.
Rather than do that, I wanted to build my own motor. So I built my own motor. My lap times, there were not a lot of racers on the last race night.
Sure.
there were 6.
Yes. It was a really bad night.
Pathetic.
Yes.
However, the guy that took first place had been taking first place all year at Kennedale. I took second place, and I beat someone that I'd never beat before. And my best lap time was a 19.2.5.
That's, hey, second.
So the new motor
is-
made a difference.
You know what? Experience makes a big difference as well. I mean, keep in mind, this is only your second year.
And he was complaining. He goes, I couldn't get around you. And half of my brain went, well, yeah, you couldn't get around me because I was trying to preserve my speed and get around the track and follow about the same line you were following.
Yeah.
And he didn't get around me.
Hey,
So,
you know, in racing, just like people that when they watch NASCAR, it's one thing to catch somebody, it's another thing to get around them.
yep.
I mean,
Yep.
that's fun though, man. Like, obviously, it's not, flying in formation, being 3 feet off of that, but
the
it is.
the adrenaline's the same.
Adrenaline is up there. The fun factor in that class, because Robin races with it as well, and I've jumped in it a few times. The fun factor is through the roof.
Through the roof. So if anyone's out there listening to this podcast, if you want to get in realistically to 4-cylinder dirt track racing, you can get your car for about $2,500. And based on what Michael Colaluca has taught me, spend about the same amount of money on your fire suit and your safety equipment. So for $5,000, you can go race to your heart's content at a dirt track in Texas. And I highly recommend it if you need that, once every other week burst of adrenaline. Buy the car. Go do it.
Have
Thrash
fun.
the car. Have fun.
Yes, have fun. That's the biggest thing is to go out and have fun while you're doing it.
And that's exactly what both Mike and Robin Colaluca have done. They've showed me that the cost is minimal.
Yes.
You can support yourself if you can afford a $5,000 car.
Yes.
You can get a good race package and be safe. And I've got a Hans device. I've got the fire suit. I still wear my flight boots, which some people make fun of me, but that's fine.
At least you're not wearing the flight suit anymore.
I knew you were going to bring that in. Yes, folks, I am guilty. The first time I went and raced on a night, I wore my flight suit. You know why? The flight suit is 7 seconds of fire protection before it will actually ash off your body and not melt like a polyester and burn you.
Yes, and I remember. So you went there and your first time, and and then Robin, she was there the second time.
I've earned this.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, you definitely earned this one. And I go there, and I was standing next to you because you were in another heat qualifier than she was. I think you were before she was, so I was like, okay. And I had her staying in the back, and I went up there, and this lady goes, "I need him to get out of the car." And I was like, "Is this because he had his flight suit on the day before?" She's like, "That was a flight suit? Why wouldn't he have his fire suit on?" I'm like, "I got him squared away. It's okay now."
Thank you,
And she's
Mike.
like, he can't do that. I was like, I know he can't, and he will not do it again. I promise you. And she's just looking at me like I shot her dog or something, like, how could I?
She wanted to get me.
She wanted to get you. Like, I ruined her entire. She probably worked all day so she could see this white number 20 show up and just
Green
rip
flight
you
suit.
a new one.
Green flight suit.
Yeah, to see if you're going to be in a flight suit.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's okay. I got it. She's just looking at me like, how dare you steal my thunder? And I'm like,
Guilty as charged, Your Honor.
but you haven't worn it since then, so that's good.
No, I haven't. Now you know of. I could have put it underneath.
You know what? If that's what you're going to do, it's going to be pretty warm there, brother. But,
Yeah. You're sweating enough.
yeah. That was a... But no, that's actually a lot
I knew you were somewhere during this interview. You were going to attack me with that. Fair enough.
You know what?
I earned every bit of it, but it's funny.
But I will say so. I bought a car not too long ago, or me and a couple of buddies of mine, we went and bought this car super cheap, and we went out and raced at Rysel, and I was actually able to flip one of those little bangers.
I
laughing.
was already off the track due to someone used my car to slow down and basically tagged me in the rear end, dislodged my battery. So now I've got an electrical fire going on in the back of my car.
Oh yeah, your car was roaring.
I was out already, and then about 2 laps later, Mike does a flip with his car.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, your car was roaring so good you could cook hot dogs on that one, brother. Like I was like,
people came up to me, get out of the car, and I'm like, what? It's just a little smoke.
Yeah, there was not smoke. There was flames above the roof. Yeah, there was flames above the roof on that one. I was like, well, I guess he wants to cook some hot dogs in there or something, Luckily, you didn't get hurt or nothing.
I did not get hurt
But-
because I had a good fire suit, and then I cleaned out chemical halon fire extinguisher agent from the back of that car. I spent an hour. Thank you very much, firemen, for taking care of me. There was so much chemical agent in the back of that car. My bare copper wire
Oh, your ground
positive
strap?
lead.
Oh, okay.
Positive lead was fully insulated from the metal due to the chemical agent between the burn off plastic and the bare copper wire to the frame.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't arcing at all. There was so much fire agent there.
So they're just looking out for you.
There, and when I got back to the car, when I got back to my trailer, a friend was trying to help me get it up into the trailer, and as we start to move the positive lead,
Uh-huh.
it starts arcing again. Whoa! Because
Yeah.
the battery still has plenty of juice.
Oh, that's right. 'Cause you didn't have a quick disconnect or a quick kill switch or nothing on the
Well,
back
yeah,
of
the
it.
kill switch is up front, and it is killed off. But even though that switch is killed off, you've
you still
got
got
the
juice
leads
going to
all
the-
the way
oh,
to
okay,
your
yeah.
battery, and those are all connected.
Yes.
And the battery's on its side in the back of your car. Yeah, it was not fun, but nobody got hurt.
That is a lesson learned, and nobody got hurt. So
That's right. And
But
we
you-
all
you
took a
could-
picture afterwards.
we did, and you could definitely. I mean, you cooked some weenies on that thing.
Yes.
That thing was roaring.
A 12, and mine's, it's not a small battery. It's not like a little lawn and garden one. It's not even the original one for the car.
Uh-huh.
It's like a big marine grade gel cell.
Oh, right on.
It had plenty of energy
It had
left.
plenty
in
of
it.
juice to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. That is exciting. I know whenever I flip mine, and I'm going, who flips a car that can only do 50 miles an hour? I was like,
Mike Kolika.
I did it. I'm guilty as charged.
And because he had a safety seat and a fire suit and all that, he flipped it. He tried to keep racing it. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But that's the fun you get with dirt track racing. Get out there and do it, folks.
Yes, 100%. If you can, you can do it very, very cheap. And you can have the time of your life. And if you think about it, by the time, say you get your car and get everything, we did the math. It cost us less money for me and her to take her car to Kennedale, which is a 30-minute drive. By the time we pay our entries, and then say she just gets start money, that night. Say she didn't do too good, she finished below 6th place, she gets only start money.
Yep.
It costs.
Been there, done that a lot.
Yes, it happens to the best of us, and it cost us less money for all the fuel involved, pit passes and everything, and then you return on some of your investment. It costs less money to do that than going to the movies.
Wow.
Yes. Now, if you start bringing, all your aunties and uncles and
Yeah.
friends and everything,
And start buying pit passes.
It gets very expensive very
It's
fast.
very expensive.
But if you go there and you go fly solo, or you take your spouse with you or anything, by the time you do that, you're out 35. Say you go fly solo, take your car, meet your buddies out there. You don't do very good. You get your pit start money back. It costs you nothing to get in. It costs you money for the fuel in your car, which gets about probably 15 miles a gallon, wide open throttle. And
Yep.
then fuel for your pickup to go to Fort Worth and back.
Yep.
Granted on where you live. So you figure you're out about, worst case scenario, you figure you're out about $35. It costs less money. You go to the movies, it costs you $20 a ticket to get to the movies. Then they want popcorn and Cokes and everything
Yep.
else. And you're like, if you go to the movies, you spend $100. You're like, this costs us less money to go to the movies. And you have 5 hours of fun.
Yep.
It's hard to beat that,
So, for all of you folks listening, go find your old Chevy Cavalier. Actually, find one with unless you have a welder, you can find the Chevy Cavalier and weld in your safety cage.
Absolutely.
I found a car. Mike said you could probably find a car for $1,500, and I found a car for about $2,000.
Yeah.
And then I started buying safety equipment. And then after all my safety equipment, I was in it for probably 3. And then I decided I'm tired of being middle of the pack. I knew one of the cylinders on my race car was a little weak. I rebuilt a motor because of my education in high school automotive. So get your kids out there and get them into high school automotive.
Hey.
When I retire, I'm probably going to open no kidding, I'm going to try to I'm considering opening a shop to homeschool children who need high school automotive.
Okay.
And we start with rebuilding a lawnmower, just like I did in 7th grade.
I had a Billy Vest on here, and I don't know if he was actually, I think, the last episode here before I had to take a short break, and he's a fireman for the city of Waxahachie.
Yeah, I listened to that podcast, Billy.
Yes, and he actually has a little course, not nothing like what you were talking about, but he has like a little course that he does for kind of like an auto tech type thing. Not an everyday deal, but I know he shows this stuff all the time where he actually helps some of the homeschool kids do that. But nothing like an everyday ordeal.
Well,
and auto tech,
it doesn't have to be every day. It could be like, in a school schedule. Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, kind of like a college, where you come in and you learn basic 4-stroke engine theory.
Yeah.
And then you're able to apply it to a simple 1-piston lawnmower with the magneto and how everything synced together, intake, compression, power, exhaust, put it all together, and then fix an old lawnmower. And guess what? You got your first way to make money as a 15-year-old. You go mow somebody's lawn.
Yes. And, it's also like a rite of passage to get shocked by said magneto at least one time.
Exactly. Which our shop teacher did to all of us.
Yeah, yes. You got to know that there is spark coming out of this and it can't hurt you.
And it'll get your heart's attention.
All right, so I got to ask you, and we kind of talked about this just a hair, but flying, what would probably say the most, besides, flying in formation, what would be the most exciting thing that has happened to Smitty while he was flying?
All right, here we go. So I buy my first experimental airplane. It's a T-18 Thorpe. It'll do about 140 knots, which is, knots is a nautical term, about 160 miles an hour. And I'm flying to Del Rio, Texas. And military gives you a lot of rules on how high or how low you can fly.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful, clear day. I'm on the east side of San Antonio. I'm flying to Del Rio, Texas. And just north of Uvalde, there's an east-west creek bed.
Okay.
That parallels my route of flight for about 10 miles.
Sure.
So I pull the power back, and I get down to treetop level.
So you're probably figuring, 100 feet?
I would say 20.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Right on the ground, yes.
I'm doing, my power's at about, 3/4 power, and I'm doing 150 miles an hour, and I'm following the creek bed.
Yeah.
And it's exhilarating because the military won't let you go that low. But now I'm in my own airplane, and it's just a blast.
Hey, you're booking it.
It's NASCAR speeds over a creek bed, and there's trees and obstacles on easy. You're in a little mini canyon. When you're down to 20 feet, you're low. And I come around a corner, and I see just on the top of the ridge to my left a single telephone pole. And this is where I believe Christ or God or education, I'm gonna say it was God and education together, made me think, why would a telephone pole be there all by itself out in the middle of nowhere? There might be a wire there. So I pull my nose up, and I come up to about well over telephone pole level. Now, I'm about 300 feet. And with your nose up, you can roll 90 degrees and look down.
Yeah. So
I did that. And as I look down against the white pebble background of the creek bed, I see the black wire that I couldn't see go underneath me. So if I wouldn't have pulled up, I might have hit it.
Oh.
If I might have hit it, it would have been very bad.
It would have been a bad day for Smitty.
Bad day.
Yes.
So a kind of a flash went through my brain. I just really lucked out because of my training.
Well, absolutely.
whether you want to call it training or divine intervention. So what did I do after that? Oh, I got right back down into it, and I finished. I was looking for telephone poles, trust me.
Yes.
But the exhilaration of getting that close to the ground and running at NASCAR speeds, it was just awesome. And then you get to the end where the creek turns 90 degrees off your course, and you pull up and climb back up to a couple thousand feet, make it to your destination. I did that little 10, 20-mile stretch of creek multiple times, and I always knew where that telephone pole was.
Yeah, you got to keep your head on a swivel on that one.
But that was the funnest, and I guess the most sobering part of flying is it could be really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh, well, yeah.
If you don't pay attention to the signs that are in front of you, like a lot in life.
Right.
So that was, for me, that was a defining moment. I'm in my own airplane. I realized what could happen. I'm glad it didn't happen. I still had fun.
Yeah.
But I was much more cautious after that. As a matter of fact, can you imagine being in a single-engine airplane at night and losing an engine? In the daytime, it's a totally different thing.
Oh, at night you don't see.
Exactly.
You can't see nothing.
So I literally stopped flying to Del Rio to do my military duty at night because my only saving grace, and if I did have to at night, I kept Highway 90 underneath me because you could see the headlights of the cars on Highway 90.
Sure, sure.
And you have to land the airplane if your motor fails. So you need something really flat.
Yeah.
And Highway 90, a flat road, is your best bet. But at night, you can't see any roads.
You were right, yeah. Think about it. Yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere. You ain't
So
seen
once
nothing.
your motor quits, you're a glider.
Yeah.
You have to keep your nose down to glide, to keep your airspeed up until you get into ground effect. And then you do a normal landing. You just don't have any power. That's a glider.
Right.
And yeah, so as I got older, I was like, I don't need to night fly anymore going to Del Rio. And if I do get stuck late, I'm going to keep Highway 90 underneath my nose the whole time.
Right. Absolutely.
So we get so older and we think about safety as we get older, and that's a good thing.
It's almost like you get a little more, how do you say, like you get older and wiser?
Oh, yeah.
The youth and vigor slowly goes away, and yes.
Yep.
So now you and your wife, I want to almost say your main source of labor is the American Black Belly Farms.
Yes.
That is that's very labor intensive.
Yeah, it started 12 years ago. Well, when we were in San Antonio, a neighbor brought us a baby lamb. And my daughter was in high school.
Okay.
And so I brought the baby lamb in to the wife. I said, hey, our neighbor who raises lambs wants us to raise this because he doesn't want to bottle feed it. Do you want it? And my wife loves animals, so that was a no-brainer. It was like, oh, of course we do. And my daughter was like, of course we do. So
absolutely.
So
who doesn't want a baby lamb,
We start raising lambs. And it turns into, after I retire and we come up here, we finally have 14 acres and we can have a herd of lambs. They're easy to maintain. There's definitely tricks involved and definitely coyotes to keep away from your property. And we've taken care of all that. Get a hold of me. Come to Railport and get a hold of me and I'll teach you about raising lambs. But we supply pasture-raised lamb for the D restaurant here in Waxahachie. It's Latin cuisine. They sell lamb burger. They've seasonally put on lamb chops. We've had Carlos and Sarah over to our house to try the lamb. And so many people, I've had lamb before and it doesn't taste good. Lamb, by definition, is approximately 1 year of age. And we feed our lamb everything you'd feed a cow.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And you've had it.
Yes.
I can't tell any difference between beef raised locally and my lamb. I'm sure other people can because they have a more distinctive palate than mine. But that's what we do. And it's typically every evening for about 20 minutes. We bring them in, we feed them, and we let them go.
Uh-huh.
It's not a difficult business. Tax advantages to having a farm and ag exemption are great. So for those people who are ever considering if you have the youth and stamina to run, we run 14 acres and we love it. So go to the D restaurant, try some of my lamb, or catch me at Railport sometime, and I'll give you a business card. And if you want lamb on your dinner table, we can work that out.
Absolutely, and it's good stuff. It's really good.
Good
lamb.
lean
It's
meat.
good
You can
lamb,
fatten it
yeah.
up as much as the muscle itself is very lean, and then our lambs tend to be overfed, and then there's fat on the outside. You can grind that in for either lamb burger. You can make sausage. You can lamb chops, leg of lamb.
The lamb chops are phenomenal. I've
Thank
had
you.
those several times. The ground lamb, obviously, is for burgers and whatnot. So I want to say, so we went to D's a few weeks ago, and I had a lamb enchilada.
Oh,
Instead of ground
outstanding.
beef, it was ground lamb. Oh, it was so good.
Thank you.
So good. I was like, man, Smitty did a good job on this one. Every bite, I'm like, this lamb was probably adorable, but it sure does taste good. You know.
That's some of. Now, we don't slaughter all the lambs, so if you're a named female lamb on our farm, you're going to be there until you naturally pass away.
Right.
Yeah. So it is difficult to send the 1-year-olds to the market sometimes, especially when you bottle feed them.
That can be really tough. Because that's almost like having a pet.
pet.
Yeah.
And-
I couldn't take my my pet to the slaughter.
And
I couldn't do it.
every spring, we typically tend to have about 3 pets. We bottle feed them. We don't. If mama rejects them or if mama dies due to old age, which has happened before, we feed them. It goes from 4 feedings to 3 feedings to 2 feedings to 1 feeding. And before the 4 feedings, you get 24 hours of colostrum. So any farmers that are out there understands that. I don't want to. We can get more into that if you're interested in lamb. We do sell the bottle babies are kind of like pets, and people come to us and say, "Hey, we want to start a herd, and we want mom and dad to be very friendly." Well, there you go. Bottle feeding lambs will walk right up to you and let you scratch them on the forehead or between their back legs, and they'll just stand there for you while you scratch them and say, "Hey, thanks for coming up and saying hi."
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of lambs tend to be skittish. Goats are not that way at all. We had a goat, and we're not going to go and discuss goats. Goats are a pain in the ass. So if you're out there breeding goats, I apologize. I think they're a pain in the ass. But yeah, we raise lambs. We love it. And and I spend a lot of time just maintaining the farm and playing with cars. Classic
Yes.
cars, race cars.
You have a cool collection of old classic cars.
I do. And my wife says my biggest problem is I don't get rid of them after I fix them.
That could be an issue.
Guilty as charged.
You know what? But when you enjoy something like that, I mean, a car, it's almost like a piece of history. I mean, it is history if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And there's so many different varieties. Like, my dad has a love for Model Ts. I think they're nothing but a lawnmower. He has, I think he's up to 5 or 6 now. And they're really nice. I mean, they are pristine. He drives them to Walmart. He goes he goes to In-N-Out, goes to the drive-through. It's really neat seeing something like what he has, like a 1918 Dr. sedan. But I'm like, that it doesn't do it for me. I appreciate the history.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the work that he puts into it, because it's a lot of work keeping something like that up.
No kidding.
But I'm looking at it, and it just does absolutely nothing for me, And but he has a love for it.
Yep.
And there's a love for all different kinds of vehicles. And he used to, he was really big into racing. The reason why I do it.
Yep.
But I guess he's like, we are going so slow now, I don't even want to touch high gear on a Model T.
Because you might break something and it's a pain in the rear to fix.
Oh, gosh.
And I like fixing cars up, and then I like to enjoy them. When they finally get to the point of they're working and they're working great. So I just finished today a 65 Mustang GT. It's parked out front.
Yes, the convertible, you drove it up here.
Yes. And the last time I checked the cooling fan, it was working just fine. It's an electric cooling fan. Driving it here, I noticed my temperature going up. And I'm like, I wonder if my cooling fan's working. I have a bypass, a second mode of turning my cooling fan off.
Like a toggle switch?
An extra ground to turn the cooling fan off. Because the thermostat turns on at a certain temperature.
Sure.
But I have a manual switch that if I turn on the air conditioner, I can turn it on. I can pre-cool the radiator before I turn on the AC.
Yes.
Well, as I got to Railport tonight, the temperature was a little bit higher than I'm used to, and I opened the hood, and the electric cooling fan wasn't working. So I love the car, but now I got to go home and diagnose why is the cooling fan not working. It's either a ground or it's a burnt fuse, but the motor's not getting power. It's a pretty easy fix.
You have to do it.
You just have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's extra time out of your day.
Absolutely.
But in all of my cars, I have, most of them are. My oldest car that I own is a '55 Chevrolet Cameo.
To pick them up.
Yep, and so all of my cars need maintenance.
Oh,
But-
well, yeah.
And you can't be a collector and not and be poor and not do the maintenance yourself. So I'm not poor by any stretch of the imagination, but I do all my maintenance.
Yes.
I do my maintenance on my own cars. I love Hondas because every time if the battery's charged, pretty much you stick a key in a Honda and ask it to start, it starts.
Oh, it's going to do it. Absolutely.
Hondas and Toyotas and
Yes.
Nissans. So, and well-maintained Chevys and Fords, yes, most of the time also.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. As long as it's
Yeah.
maintained, yes. But
Yes.
but if a Honda generally has a battery that's charged, that dude is starting.
Yep.
I mean, I don't
Amen.
care. I don't
I
care
own
if it has
two
a
Hondas.
I don't care if it has a
God
hole
bless
in the side of the block and they're only hitting on 2 cylinders. That dude's gonna start.
It's
you
still
know.
going to start.
All right. Well, Smitty, man, I was gonna say thank you for coming on to the show.
Yep.
And man, it was an honor having you here. And man, we were gonna have to get you on another. I'm gonna have to get you on a
Conspiracy
conspiracy
theory?
because I mean, even though you probably think the government's batting 1,000, it's gonna be my job on one of these episodes to convince you that it's not.
Oh, I don't fully trust the government. Just ask me about COVID on the next show.
That's another conspiracy right there. Yes,
Well-
you know.
And before we close, I'll enlighten on that because I was flying internationally, and COVID was a huge concern to me as a pilot. And the airlines, all of them, said, "Oh no, our HEPA filters are the best." Well, when COVID came out, I did some research on how big the COVID particulate, and how big the HEPA filter on an airline could filter to. And newsflash, everyone, the COVID particulate can get through the HEPA filter.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I knew right away,
Nothing's going on. Nothing's filtering.
well, it can get through the entire airplane, and it's an airborne virus.
Yes.
This is going to go global because we have international travel through China.
Yes.
Yeah, and it hit China and then began to spread. It spread, honestly, in my opinion, due to airliners taking it globally quickly.
Well, yeah, you come from China. You know,
Yeah.
you're from China
Yeah.
to the United States in, what,
Yeah.
17 hours?
Yeah, the Wuhan lab
Yes.
was funded by American funds and I believe was the source for COVID. So
You know what?
convince me otherwise.
I'm not going to. I will go down that rabbit hole like you've never seen. Yes.
Yeah. So
But, you know, that'd be, I'm going to have to break. We'll come back on that one.
we'll come back on that one.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, sweet. Man, thank you for coming on the show, man. I do appreciate you. We'll have to do this again, man.
I enjoyed it. Bring me back. We'll see you, brother.
All right.